We are following up after we had historic flooding here in Indianapolis. In all the preparations and getting ready for it, the city of Indianapolis took action, closing floodgates in several spots, all in a goal to protect property from water that was overflowing the banks of the White River.
But what's interesting here is a lot of people have been telling us and telling the city we didn't even know we had floodgates. So Jenny Runovich is showing us where these floodgates are and what they do. It is kind of interesting, Jenny.
It is, Felicia and Ann, and I learned today the city, Marion County, has more than 100 floodgates, actually. Here's their purpose. They're meant to keep water closer to the White River and further away from more populated areas with more homes and businesses. So this is one of them. We are at 52nd and Sunset. This is a panel-style floodgate. So basically the panels go in here and then kind of go across the street and connect to the other side where people would normally walk or drive. Now, DPW says 50% of its floodgates had to be activated in this latest weather event. That's because the water levels were just that high. The gates connect to flood walls or levees, and they're only closed when it's a serious threat. Indy's flood response plan has specific levels for closures, so Friday night, they activated. It actually took crews an hour and a half to manually put panels in place on some of those floodgates for safety.
So they actually come in and they drop in the panel. What the gate then does is it blocks the ability for the water to continue traveling on its normal trajectory downstream. And that's what they did during this event to try to minimize the water from the river continuing further and further across Indianapolis.
Gates in Indy.
Well, I can tell you it is very rare, at least for this many. Some floodgates have been activated in April of 2025, April of 2024, but this time to have more than 50%, that's rare. In fact, some of the floodgates hadn't been activated in more than 40 years, so definitely an unusual circumstance because of this historic flooding.
And so now I guess the big question is, this time, did they work? Did they do their job?
Yeah, I asked DPW that today. I said, did this work? And were there any breaches or any failures? Well, they said that right now their team is still assessing the data. Obviously, they're still also in the middle of the flood response as cleanup is still underway. But we'll keep asking the question. Ann,
All
Felicia.
right. Jenny Runovich reporting live for us. Thanks so much. And, you know,